Good morning, smoothers, groovers, anti-sleuthers. How are you, people? Just preparing for takeoff for Pisswake Airlines flight 711, 711. To Honolulu. Jump aboard, people. My favourite, my favourite keep cup for my coffee, the one I got in Singapore when I was there at the start of the year, is leaking. No, you break my heart. You break my heart. Okay. Oh, cool. I'm just checking I've got my makeups for the other end. God almighty. Today, the morning I'm having, I've got to look professional. Or at least pretend to be by putting a face on. Oh my God, guys. Now my cute little bag strap is caught up in my basket. Breathe. Mel Mac, g'day. G'day, Griever. Hey, Scout. Gorgeous sunny bummy sulking. I'm heading out for the day and she knows it. You brought snacks. Cool if you could share them with everyone. Beautiful sunrise happening at the moment. If I wasn't leaving home a tiny bit later than usual, I'd take you guys for a little bit of a spin to the beach to watch the sun come up, but not today. How's my audio? Audio check, check, 1 2 1 2. Cement shoes, g'day Griever. How the fuck are you? Oh, let me just check my audio. Sharing is caring. Did anyone bring seatbelts? Because we don't do safety around here, except for me. Seatbelts, life jackets, because there's nothing more convenient and useful than a life jacket when you're in a plane that blows up over an ocean and you've got a whistle that nobody can hear unless they're 3 feet away from you, and a light that probably has a battery that will last as long as an iPhone's. Audio's perfect, awesome sauce. It's delightful 10 degrees Celsius, heading to Honolulu. I wish. Devo, that might keep cup. You guys call them travellers, you guys that are not Oswegians. So this life is a bit self-serving, I'm not going to lie. I'm a fan of a list. I'm like Liam Neeson getting cast in Schindler's List because he likes lists. I need a list. This live is you guys making me a list. I like lists with little tick boxes. You can tick things off as you do stuff. But the thing is, there's afoot on YouTube. And the Schitt's Creek, but the only reason I use that in my title is so I can get away with saying shit. The Schitt's Tube creators that all gather and are stuck in that little dive bar on the outskirts of town. Not the cool one. We all love a good dive bar. The one with the sticky carpet. I was hoping someone would check the list twice. Good to see you, Unseen Thinkers. Unseen Thinkers making a list and checking this. Woo! Why am I so hoppy? Haven't used many words this morning. You'll have to let me warm up. I've literally talked to a cat, so I'm not quite finding my words just yet. We'll get there. I have coffee. I've got plenty of petrol. And I've got you groovers. What more do I need? Oh, well, what I do need is a list. It's the purpose of this live. I need a list, goddamn you. So the reason I'm doing this live is, I mean, we can converse, obviously. I don't want you guys just like scribing and no conversing. But as you guys know too, like, unlike the bullhorn Bettys and the life perplexed of the world who seem to drive and read chat the whole time. I'm safety first. Care about the other people on the road. Care about me, obviously, but other people on the road more importantly. Because I would never live with myself if I caused harm to somebody else from being a fit. But there will be moments like in the crawly peak hour traffic, peak minute traffic on this little island where I'll be able to read some chat. And short, shouty messages are the easiest things when I the poshest car park in the world. But the thing is, we've been calling out unscrupulous YouTubers for a long time. New community members and people that sorry guys, I forgot to mention this flight also included flying through the black hole of Calcutta. But we're out the other side for now. Just remember I'm in a I'm on a little island at the bottom of Australia, heading towards Antarctica in a coastal rural area. And like most places in the world, all of those factors combined can sometimes mean dodgy reception. But I will return. Did you just have a mini meltdown of cement shoes? Seriously? You know this stuff happens. You're abreast of these, right? Amazing this morning. The clouds have got little hints of pink and it's pretty as hell. I wish you could see what I can see to the right of me. But I'm not going to show you, so you can't. Seriously, Scout, can you give Cement Shoes a hug? He was having a little meltdown, a midlife crisis. Tori disappeared into the black hole of Calcutta for under a minute and it was game over for Cement Shoes. Oh, I'm glad you're glad. Couldn't be having a tantrum from Cement Shoes at this hour of the morning on my drive to work. I'm the only my boss is working from home, but I'm the only lawyer in the service today, and that means I'm about to have a really shitty day. Not shitty, just crazy, and it's crazy when we're all there. Someone asked about the trees on the side of the road. Well, there's variety. There's a variety. We have the local firebush, which was a nickname of a friend of mine at uni who had red hair. I know, how rude. different varieties of eucalypts. There's, I don't know, there's trees that just look really scruffy, like this one coming up on the left. Fair bit of bush down the bottom, a lot of dead branches up the top. That's kind of like a, I'm going to call that tree back there Bullhorn Betty. Scruffy bush down below and dead air on top. Perfect. But there's also English trees. There's all sorts of trees. We've got pine trees up here on the left. Clowns to the right. I don't know. I love trees, but I'm not really that big on their names. Can you tell? If you look closely into the gum trees, you might spot a kookaburra, though. Or as an American reacting to Australian videos the other day said, "Is that a kookaburra?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a kookaburra. Just whatever." Got lots of Norfolk Island pines here too. Norfolk Island's another island of Australia. You need a voice of sanity. All right, mate, you got one. So yeah, throughout this live, what I'm asking is just drop in the chat any creators you think we need to discuss, because it's an open bloody slate here. I don't care about upsetting popular creators because I don't give a fuck really. If you're shitty, you're on the list. That's basically the only prerequisite. But the reason I'm asking for this sort of condensed list in one live is I can go back through it, make notes. Unseen thinkers can check it twice. There's a wattle tree just there on the left, a coastal wattle. Our national emblem is the wattle tree, but we have coastal wattles down here because we're on the coast. Yeah, I love stating the obvious. And then what I can do is I can compile my list, because there's a lot of new people that have found us, which is really exciting. Unlike my previously thriving channel that is now stuck in a YouTube cul-de-sac where no algorithm will ever find us, this little channel is growing, and it's growing in a way that I'm happy about. It's not going off like a frog in a sock, but people that, which I don't care about, like I want quality, not quantity. But the people that are finding us, quality people, it's an exciting time. So there's a lot of comments now happening too, which is awesome under my lives, and people are going back and looking at lives where I've talked about Bull already a couple of years ago, and one of my earlier Zav Girl readings and all sorts of stuff, and which is awesome. But they're starting to mention a heap of people, and I was like, well, I'm going to build a list because I want to do content that you guys are interested in. There's no point in me just thinking I'm interested in this, so fuck it, you can all listen to me delivering a monologue, which at some point will turn into a soliloquy because none of you give a flying fuck about it. And I read something, a comment under one of my things about a guy who's, fuck, I can't remember his name because I called him Doing the Dishes with Dave at the start, and now that's just like embedded in my brain. Doing the Dishes with Dave, the Australian bogan who's absolutely gross. And I've heard some pretty horrible things that he's done, but someone left me a comment, or no, actually, it might have been under one of Zav Girl's things, actually. Like, we've talked about him being given one of Chris Watts's tops or a couple of his tops. by Cindy and Ronnie, and how excited he was about that he was rubbing his doodle all over it. But someone put a comment that he wore one of Chris's tops to Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico's grave. Yeah. Took his subscribers there wearing one of Chris's tops, and while standing at their graves, condemned Shanann's family. Now, be it true or not, you can bet your left tit I'm going to look into it. How fucked up is that? So doing the dishes with Dave has been on my list already, but he's even more on my radar now. But I want to know the creators out there, and I'm using the word creator as loosely as I possibly can. The destroyers, the death vultures, the gore crows. The journey to justice. No, hello, gorgeous. That was perfect timing to just add you to the end of that list. How are you, Grover? Oh, what are you all doing having afternoons? I want it to be the afternoon because that means I'm nearly leaving work. How fucked up is that, cement cheese? So, yeah, doing the dishes with Dave has just gone up quite quickly on my list. And you guys know that I get a bit bored talking about the same person over and over again, but sometimes it's warranted. And the thing is, there's this little ray of hope now in many of our lives, like as in real, our YouTube lives, not me being lives, that we finally saw the community across the board, apart from a couple of Fruit Loops who can't be taken seriously anyway, Laura, Bullhorn Betty. It was so refreshing to see, and not just one. When I say community, I bounce around all sorts of communities. I mean, you might as well include me in the American reactions community, the catfishing community. I haven't actually, I know the story, the journey to justice, and something definitely sounds really sad about it to me, that story. But I kind of also feel that, again, the little that I know, which is truly based on what I saw on notifications, is that there were already creators. No, again, I'm not going to fucking call them creators. Death vultures wanting it to be something that it's not. There was some really salubrious headlines, like, live titles implying all kinds of shit. And once again, that sort of prevailing disappointment that we always see on YouTube when creators, stop calling them that, death vultures, want a gory outcome, aka Kylie Rodney, where in Kylie Rodney's story, the hashtag Team Foul Play emerged for the first time, as far as I was aware. And I've listened to shitloads of YouTube over the last 5 years, as you guys know, and I've watched a little bit as well. I mean, I'm still repulsed that the hashtag Team Foul Play even exists. This poor girl made a terrible mistake that cost her her life. And people weren't happy with that outcome. Are you listening, Zav girl? Ryan Fuckface, whatever his name is, Upchurch. God, Tori, my brain it's 10 degrees. My brain should be a little bit more warmed up. I've been driving for a while now. What's going on? Clearly, my brain is focusing on driving and much more. Certainly not helping me talk, which is a problem because that's what my job is. I talk all fucking day, which is why I just sometimes don't feel like YouTubing when I get home. I'm all out of words. So lost without you. So yeah, feel free to name any gore crows, death vultures, tragedy pimps, wankers. Just drop their name in chat and I'll watch the replay and I'll add to my list. And unseen thinkers, I'll message you so you can check it twice. Don't you just love Liam Neeson in that sketch with Ricky Gervais, telling them that he got cast in Schindler's List because he likes making lists? Like, some people can be so funny and other people can just be absolute, I'm going to say it, cunts. It's Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. I'm still absolutely mystified why this island with 500,000 people needs a sign right here that tells me it's 12 minutes to Hobart City. I mean, I guess the point of it is, you know, if there's a few traffic delays, we'll be like, oh, I'm actually going to get to Hobart City in 17 minutes. There must be a bit of traffic ahead. Red Raven Spirit, hello. What do you mean, hell to the no? Coming in here with your hell to the no. Hell to the no. All right. I can't read chat now till we get to the city in 12 minutes. But let's see. There's another gigantic sign ahead. Probably a kilometre apart, just in case you missed the first one. Don't get excited, everyone. It took us a minute to get here, and it's now 11 minutes to Hobart City. Who would have thunk it? What a fabulous investment. What a brilliant thing. How the hell did we survive without those two signs? I mean, if they had cute little, like, messages, little quotes to cheer you up. Some YouTuber chatting away, talking about something, I don't know. I could think of a million things that would be better on those signs, but no. It takes you a minute to drive between the two, only to find out that the distance now to the town is a minute longer. How did we survive without them? Bloody gyms fire safe. In Australia, do you guys have gyms or is it just an Australian thing? It's fucking gyms everything. I just saw gyms fire safety. I passed a gyms fire safety truck. Like, honestly, if I need to talk about fire safety, I'm calling the Tasmanian Fire Service. But someone lost their high-vis jacket back there. Now nobody's going to be able to see them. There's bloody gyms everything. I'm surprised there isn't a gyms pap smears. Shit, someone lost a lot of high-vis gear. There's high-vis gear all over the road. Well, on the sides of the road. And books. There's a heap of books too. What's going on? I never thought. Wait, high vis and books in one spot on the highway. That's confusing me. I mean, bless all who wear high vis outfits to work, but I wouldn't use. There's another book and another book. I wouldn't, and another book. I wouldn't usually put high vis and books and another book. It's bloody. Was someone wearing high vis driving a truck full of books? There's still books. There's another book and a dead bird. Jesus. Somebody solved this crime. Or this accident, probably. All right, so my theory is two people were driving a truck full of books, and the books weren't properly secured and started flying out of the truck. So they pulled over in their high-vis Tasmanian winter attire, but they were getting so hot and bothered picking up all of the books that they started peeling off the layers, and then they got bored and sick of doing it, so they just went to the nearest pub and they're still there. Although I don't know where the truck is. That's been towed. Someone came and got the truck and said, no, you don't just leave your truck on the side of the road unless you live in Hawaii. So we're just going to take the truck. I think we've solved the mystery. Is that a humanimal in the chat? Hello, gorgeous. There was snow on top of the mountain yesterday, just a sprinkle, but it'd be gone now. We're having a really mild winter. I reckon the blossoms are going to start emerging. Like it was actually, I mean, it wasn't hot yesterday, but it was warm. Winter in Australia. I mean, we're the southernmost state, and this is winter, guys. It's not bad, really. It's school holidays at the moment too, which is why the traffic is so much lighter. It's every working person's favourite time of the year. Well, there's several. School holidays is just like a dream commute. And then school goes back. There goes the gym's fire safety truck. Gym's pap smears. There's a Gym's for everything. Except I haven't seen a Gym's pap smears, but I'm calling it. There'll be one day. Hey, Mandy Hall. Sorry I can't read comments, but I can occasionally recognise a name despite my poor eyesight. That little mini that just went past that belongs to a sushi business called Sushi. And that mini looked cute because it had all the branding around it, and their license plate was Sushi. It's cute. Haven't seen that before. We're about to go over the Tasman Bridge, ladies and gentlemen. We're approaching Honolulu. The Bridge of Chaos. So many people have commented under drives about this bridge, and they're like, "Are you insane? There's 5 lanes of traffic and no barriers, and you're all just driving over it without a care in the world." Yeah, we're pretty laid back, even about bridge safety, it seems. But tourists pick up their cars up at the airport and head into Hobart, and they've been driving along past the books and the high vis gear back on the highway, and then they're confronted with this. And so many people that have visited Tassie for the first time, like friends of mine, I was like, "How was your trip?" And they're like, "Really good until I got to your bridge." And the fact that the lanes change direction depending whether you're in the morning traffic or the afternoon traffic, like the lane to the right of me at the end of the day is going the other way, going out of town. I don't like being in that lane because when we get off the bridge, it's on the wrong side of the road, and I always feel most uncomfortable. I don't like it. So I always get in this lane so I can avoid being stuck in it because it just feels so bizarre to me. And there's not a lot of barricades on that side, so it'll just take one person who doesn't normally drive in morning traffic to think that they can still drive in that lane coming out of town. And mind you, there's never really, I mean, as far as I've never seen a crash in that lane, but I don't know if you can see over there, but there's sort of like every 20 metres is a little orange post, little plastic thing that you could easily flatten in 30 seconds with 1 second. But maybe because there's usually so much traffic, that's why nobody makes that mistake. But yeah, it feels so weird to me being on that side of the road. And I'm a risk taker. But things like that, I'm like, no, nay, I'm not doing it. I drive on that side in that lane with my little fist clenched, little white knuckles. It makes me really anxious. In front of us, we have a Hyundai Getz. An Australian comedian called Bob Down once said, "I nearly got hit by a Getz once, but it didn't scare me because if it had have hit me, it would have just wrapped itself around my wrist and I could have worn it as a bangle." Oh, is Jen Lou here? Hello, beautiful girl. How nice to see. Is this your first drive with me? Welcome to Honolulu. We're just entering the Honolulu CBD. We'll be doing a chat in the car park shortly, which will unfortunately include me not being able to reach out for a brief moment or two while I put some kind of face on so I look relatively professional. I've got a couple of face-to-faces today, so I have to make a slight effort, unfortunately. I'm curious, Jen. I think I saw when I was back there doing 2.5 kilometres an hour. Thank God I can't see something. I need to know what you're talking about now. What be that? Is there something going on in chat that would be disturbing me or disturbing to me? I mean, there's a dude there in shorts. In Tassie, if the temperature is double figures, it's currently 12 degrees Celsius. We're all like, hey, it's shorts weather. Bloody mainlanders saying it's frigging cold here. We're wearing shorts. You thought our bridge looked scary. Oh, it's a gorgeous bridge. There's lots of things like Breast Cancer Month, they put pink under it. During Dark Mofo, they had red under it, and it's just incredible. It's so pretty. But they put lights under the road bit, so the whole bridge underneath is all lit up and sexy. I'll do a live on Tasmania calling about the bridge collapse, though. That bridge collapsed. Not because of poor design. A bloody drunk captain of a ship ran into one of the pylons. The ship, the Lake Illawarra, is still in the water underneath. And the entire crew of the ship died, but so did a few people that drove off the bridge because they were just driving up the bridge and there was a massive gap. And then for a few years, I mean, they built another sort of emergency sort of bridge to help people get from the eastern shore to the western shore, and we're on the western shore now. But also a lot of people then started commuting to and from work in ferries. But yeah, it was pretty full on. Bit of Tassie history. All right, we're going to park in this one because this one's the easiest one to get out of. This corner is bad. So the graffiti up there, it says Ned Kelly, Australia's most notorious outlaw. What's the word? All right. Oh, we've got snacks. Thank you, Scout. But did I see you missed your favourite causeway? What a crime. Oh, yeah, you knew. Oh, good. I'm glad you knew I was there. I really enjoyed it. I was talking about you guys yesterday and saying this whole situation has you anxious. Which situation? Oh, watching all the cars. Oh, we're safe now. Is there a rumour that Sav Girl was not nice to Landon? Well, she wasn't nice in not listening to what Landon said. Pass a cookie? Scout, have you got that kind of cookie? Please tell me. Oh, I did see him, and I'm scarred for life. I was actually, I wanted to pop into chat, but I was setting up my kitchen to go live and cook. And the way I set up my laptop, I stand it upright, like I open it out 180 degrees. So it's like a super hot, long tablet sort of thing. And it's standing upright, and it's unbelievably hard to type because it's got like my camera and microphone and shit right in front of it. But yeah, I saw, and I hate you all. And I really wanted to say something because it was fun just listening to you all. What a horrible, I can't get that out of my head. And the irony was you were talking about the irresponsible Sav girl putting stuff out there that will be stuck in people's minds forever. And that's how you end the live. Ironic, right? He's so gross. That man is so gross. Oh, it is the stuff I've noticed. The thing, though, that's really funny is he's got this sort of come hither look on his face. Like, who are those photos meant for? She went on a tirade against Landon. Gav did. Oh, for those of you new to our channel, And people who've been here for a long time, I now refer to Zav Girl as Gav because I just kept calling her Gav the other day and it seems to suit her. But yeah, the come hither. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, probably. I don't know. Oh my god, it was so great. He is just so disgustingly revolting. Ugh. Whoever gave him a gadget in prison should be taken to a remote beach at midnight and shot. The world didn't need to see that. But God, it was funny. And yeah, I was commenting though that I really loved your live because, well, as you already know, Jen, like we're like-minded and that we like good open discussions, and it's not about agreeing and being an echo chamber. It's really interesting hearing people's, different points of view. I mean, that's how we evolve as humans, which is why I'm very scathing of the echo chamber channels, Life Perplexed, who claim that they're not, but then while you're watching their live, they're just deleting all the comments that don't agree with them. Or Natasha Cooper deleting all of the negative comments about her involvement with the Gannon autopsy photos. Like, I don't want to have a dinner party where we all just sit around and sing Kumbaya and lick each other's faces because we are all on the same page. Like, why did I mention? I mean, I've never been to a dinner party where we've licked each other's faces, just to clarify that. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind, but it did. I'm going to be a nightmare at work today. I think I didn't get enough sleep. Look, there's lots of people that will hold your hand, Jen Lou, if you freak out going over the bridge. I mean, Cement Shoes had a meltdown at the start of my life because I went through the black hole of Calcutta for about a minute. Yeah, if this is true, I mean, feel free, guys. Smoothcriminalchannel@gmail.com. If you find anything, flick it my way. I mean, I'm not shutting up. I'm sorry, but people that are going, yeah, we've talked about it. It's done and dusted. No, there's so many other elements to the Zav thing alone that warrant conversation. I mean, I'm not teaming up with any channels that are just, now just being complete and utter assholes for the sake of it to keep getting lots of people rolling in. But there's so many things about that. Like, I thought one live that I could do is show you how tight Australia's privacy laws are, because I do touch on that a lot. I mean, I don't know, it wouldn't be a very long live because it'll be boring as fuck, but I do touch on it a fair bit on here because, like, even the Idaho 4 reporting in Australia now and the whole time, the two surviving housemates aren't named in our media, and if they show any photos of the 6 kids that lived in that house, they blur out their faces still, even though their names are all over YouTube. And, we've got creators like JLR who just were absolutely obsessed with one of them and just couldn't stop talking about her and saying the most inflammatory stuff. But it might be an interesting one just to show you. And I have shown media reporting on Idaho 4 not that long ago with their photos blurred and they're not named, just to give you an example of how strict our privacy laws are. Because the whole Zav thing, my initial reaction, as you guys know, the very first live I did was, how did she even get that shit? Because you just can't hear. You just wouldn't, ever. The only people that can get things like that in Australia have to be next of kin, but they've also got a very rigorous application process and they're still not guaranteed they're going to get it, even if they are next of kin. She's retracting her apology. What? Well, she did anyway. I mean, it wasn't genuine anyway, because she'd said plenty of things leading up to the apology that were the exact opposite of what the apology said. That apology, oh my God, I kind of feel like I should apologise to everyone because we were talking about Natasha Cooper. And then that bloody apology dropped, and we watched it and we discussed it. And I said the cunt word about 7 times. I was furious. I got pretty angry. The Alex thing, like is, I did like it. I like inappropriate comedy. Yeah, come hither, let me lick your face. Oh, I know. And also, it looks like we're driving at crazy speeds too. Yeah, so mention we can't. I tried to donate again, and I forgot that Australians, we can't donate to those YouTube lives that have fundraisers. So I just decided I'd donate to, Al's GoFundMe or something instead. I usually do that. Like if there's a fundraiser and I can't donate and I want to, I just go straight to their website and find a way to do it. Hey, Orchid, how are you, gorgeous? No, well, it wasn't a Gav conversation, but it has been a little bit. Okay, so how's she retracting the non-apology? Fill me in, Groovers. Oh, I said it 8 times. Okay. Good thing you're keeping a list, unseen thinkers. Yeah, I know, the cunt word. I'm a shocker. Yeah, but face-licking dinner parties probably are that. I don't know, are they? Mm-hmm. I'm more of a get naked and dance on the tables kind of dinner party girl, to be honest. But, you do you, boo. I've got to put a little bit of makeup on, but it won't take me long. I don't wear a lot. I just wear enough that I look like I gave a fuck. Bottom line, Zab Girl comes across as she only cares about herself and profit and is willing to throw decency out the window. Well, the thing is, many of us have spoken of her and her repugnant ways for quite a while. And to me, I mean, there's always a silver lining in anything that goes on, in my opinion, no matter how horrible, right? And with this, I just was so excited, and I'm not downplaying it. I really was excited and still am to finally see not just the pretend true crime community, but the genuine true crime community and other communities as well weighing in on it and agreeing. It was the first time ever in the 5 years I've been floating around that I've seen that happen. There's always division and sides and people taking one side and then being seen in someone else's chat and then being blasted for that. That sort of shit we've seen over and over and over again. So to me, actually seeing this sort of broad community on YouTube that includes lots of little smaller communities all being united on it, except for Laura and Bullhorn Betty, who just both look like fucking idiots. And Natasha, I suppose. But it was refreshing. I was like, there's a change. The times they are changing. And the little boho hippie in me got pretty friggin' excited about it. And I'm a big believer in, we've got momentum now, let's keep it going. And for all the people that are dropping into chats and going, it's done, it's over, move on. No, you fucking move on. This community, we've all got responsibilities, and we've got a responsibility to look after each other too, in my view. And if this is the change we've been waiting for, we've got to keep talking about it. I work in a building full of unions. Like, solidarity here, comrades. Let's do this. We've got a lot of people now that are watching the stuff that's going on that may not have been remotely aware of it, that have got good, strong voices on YouTube that are going to help us. It's an exciting time. This is a union movement on YouTube, and I'm loving it. Go, girl. I'm glad we chose the non-profit because Harmony Montgomery was in the system in Massachusetts, and that NPO is based in Massachusetts. Yeah, it was a lovely thing to watch that figure just going up and up and up, and I was bummed I couldn't add to it, but super proud of you girls. It was great. Oh, now everyone wants to go to a face licking party. Yeah, I wasn't holding back. And I loved it when I said the cunt word that I was like, and on this occasion, I'm not an Australian using it as a term of endearment. It's not a g'day cunt, how you doing? It's a you fucking cunt. Look at me offloading in the car park of doom. Look at my tasting get together, but different. Neither have I, Jen Lou, and isn't it awesome? And that's the thing, you know. So all the people that go, it's done, move on, or the person under my community post that said, you sound leave her alone, you sound jealous. And I responded, you leave me alone. I said, leave me alone, you sound 14. I'm so jealous. I really want to be Zavgor, who's been described by the father of an 11-year-old boy who was brutally murdered as evil. Yeah, that's what I want to be. Fucking hell. I want to live at home with my mum, pretend to be a hippie. Everyone that keeps calling her a hippie, she's not. It's because she's just got poor taste in clothing. Stop it. Did you see the redneck guy who had the Confederate flag for a profile pic? He was making me nervous because he kept agreeing with my comments. Oh, I saw him too. He agreed with me as well. What was that guy's name? He had an actual dude's name. Yeah, he actually said things to me like, you are articulating what I want to say so much better than me. I did see him cement shoes. And the same thing, I mean, look, I kind of understand the Confederate flag thing. Like, I kind of knew it's like, oh, do I want him to agree with me? But he did too. We had the same thoughts. But he was, I mean, if that's his point of view, bring it on. Like, I don't care about his other opinions, if they're inflammatory and inappropriate or whatever. In that chat, he was team yes, you know. So I can't remember his name. He has like a dude's name. I agree. Isn't it beautiful? The tide is turning. Just when I started to lose hope in humanity on the tubes, humans rally for the right thing. Yeah, no. She said, honestly, if you feel like adding a comment under there, please do. Leave her alone. You sound jealous. And she spelt you, like the letter U. I was scared of her. Humanimal says, what frustrates me is creators allowing slanderous, ridiculous, non-factual, impossible comments, blaming innocent people, studied theories, just spreading mistruths and supporting nasty creators. Yeah, all of that. Tick, tick, tickety, tick. I'm sorry, but when Penguin speaks up about Zavgor, we know the tide is turning. Come on. If you haven't seen Penguin's little blurb on her, do it. It's brilliant. I'm going to play it on my channel. Because not only do I love him to bits, because we just seem to constantly think and say the same shit, but he's a dude. But also he doesn't strike people for using his content because he wants the word out there. Spread it. Hey, Tours, did you know that Adventures with Purpose, there must be more coming. Yeah, he was calling her Zavgul, exactly. Well, that's I think why he commented on me saying what he wanted to more eloquently. Oh, Jared's back on the tubes. Of course he is. They keep reappearing like cold sores, like herpes. No, there was nothing racist in his comments at all. It's 2023. YouTube doesn't charge by the character. You can type out the whole word. Well, see, because Laura always goes, I just think they're all jealous. It's like, Jesus, woman, you're 52. That's your best argument? Because that's her argument all the time. They're jealous. They're jealous. They're jealous of Molly. They're jealous of Bullhorn Betty. They're jealous of me. It's like, oh my God, use your brain. Come up with a better bloody argument. And the other argument that Laura loves to use, if you don't like it, don't watch it. No, fuck off. I'm in a community that I give a fuck about. I'm not a quiet, withering little petal in the corner in my real life. Do you think I'm going to be on YouTube? Sorry, lady. I have things to say, including about you. So, you know. Your turn will come. Has anyone even put someone in the chat as to add to our list? An accredited attorney is supposed to be jealous of a former junkie who lives at home in a gamer chair and sells pictures of dead children, refreshing their grief and making it worse, and making so many new victims too. She has made, like, where I have constantly had a major issue with Gav is there's already enough victims in true crime stories. In fact, there's already too many, right? But she's really good at creating more. I mean, how many innocent kids in Truckee did she turn into victims, including some that had to actually leave? Their families had to leave Truckee because of what was going on YouTube. She was quite happily sitting up there with a photo of an innocent man on her live for over an hour with me in chat saying, you might want to take that down. The guy is suing media outlets for using his photo. Poor guy had the misfortune of having the same name as the man who abducted Cleo Smith, who's now convicted and doing his time in prison. But instead of listening to me and going, yeah, and I wasn't being a prick or anything, I was pretty nice about it. Don't get me wrong, I've got fire in my belly, but for the most part, people would describe me as a nice person. Because even when I'm angry, people seem to find me funny more than nasty. But I wasn't nasty to her. And I was sitting in the chat reading a sea of the most vile racist shit I have ever seen on YouTube, including coming from her mods. And she let all of that slide as well. I'm not jealous, lady, who can't even type YOU. She never came back. They never do. I love responding to shitty comments on my channel the way James Blunt responds to rude tweets. Just hit them with humour and they shut the fuck up pretty quickly. Or just call them out and they shut up too. They've got so much front until you call them out and then they're like, and disappear. Wimps. But I'm not a toughie at all. I'm not scary. But I love conversation. I love the English language. I love discussion and debate. If you want to say something snarky to me like you did, Zav girl, oh my God, Jen Lou, do you know that she actually engaged with me under one of them that she deleted, but also under her apology. And she responded with absolute snark to me. And I'm like, well, yeah, not very good PR for yourself, fuckface. I mean, I didn't care that she was snarky at me. I expected nothing less from her. But wow, the snark. It just made her look horrible. I mean, like she needed more things to make her look horrible. I'd be jealous of me. I'm 46 and I have new aches and pains every day. I'm 56. Wait till you get to where I am, Jen Lee. You got no idea. It's just, I mean, you're on the decline and I'm glad to know that because it's nice to have other girls with senses of humour. The best thing about getting older as a female, and it might be the same for men, I don't know, but all the women that I know that we have become, well, I've always been hilarious, but so many of my friends who've been quite serious and just focused on their careers and stuff are just now so fucking funny because we're all falling apart and we just think it's the funniest thing ever. I have the best laughs with my girlfriends now. It's so good. She invaded their privacy and essentially stalked those Truckee miners for views and raked in the dough. Yes, she did. Adventures with Purpose was in my old town, Franklin, a few years ago, looking for a missing grandma. She's still missing. Her son did comment on your video. Oh, there you go, Jenny to Justice. I can't believe AWP is back. Shouldn't he be busy preparing for his oncoming trial? You'd think so. She used a ghost account to talk to me, maybe. Do you know what I'm surprised too, like the way she writes and her use of punctuation or no use. How did she graduate from college? Like, I'm not saying this to be a snob. I'm just shocked. If you can graduate with a psychology degree, but you can't use full stops? Or what do you guys call them periods? We call them full stops because we think periods should just be periods, as in lady periods. Although we do say for a period of time. But anyway, yeah, how does one graduate college with such appalling grammar? I don't get that. Like, you just wouldn't here. You wouldn't even get into college with grammar like that. Where did she get her psychology degree? You know, on the back of a cereal box? Like, honestly, you couldn't graduate with grammar like that in Australia. You wouldn't get into university here. You'd get into TAFE, which is our colleges. But what you guys call college, we call university. So your community college is like our TAFE. Yeah, Jared. Her spelling and grammar are about as intact as a project fence. We believe the husband killed her and put her in a lake. Oh my God, that is so sad. Journey to justice. Maybe online when she's 41. She would have been studying in her late teens, early 20s, presumably, unless she went back as a mature age student. But say she did this degree when, like out of school. Online courses weren't a thing 20 years ago. I mean, there were online courses like, how to plant a succulent, but you couldn't get a psychology degree online 20 years ago, I don't think. It might have just been when they were starting to happen, but I don't think you could have it in Australia. Like online university degrees are a fairly recent thing. I was tested on English and grammar in the 90s for college, and I tested in the top 1% of the country. I should have asked them what I got wrong. We know you're a genius, Cement. Maybe as a mature age student. A correspondence course. How's that sensitivity training going? I still want to know more about how did she. Where is the evidence of her retracting her apology? And why haven't you put anyone else in the list you want me to talk about? I'm happy to talk about Jared. I'm happy to talk about doing the dishes with Dave. Letitia gained a doctorate of education online. Would that have been recently, though? I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, I'm still, even if you did an online course, you would think you would still need to understand basic grammar to graduate. Possibly. They went to the University of Degrees on the back of a cornflakes box. All right, I haven't put on any makeup, and I really should. I'm not going nuts, actually. I'm just going to put on some mascara. But I should do something, at least some mascara. I don't actually know who we're talking about. I mean, we were talking Gav, but I'm not sure. Yeah, anyone else, guys? If you think of any, put some names under the comments on this video who would like me to scrutinise. Because I'm fired up. Because we've actually got, those of us who've been speaking out against this BS, we've got the backing of credible YouTubers that don't even dip their toes in this community. Well, I don't even call the Zavs really, they've never been true crime. True crime historically was a fact-based genre where speculation beyond possibly coming up with a theory that made sense in between the facts was completely not allowed. If you were ever a member of Web Sleuths forums online, the website, pre-YouTube, the number one rule, stick to the facts. And yes, sometimes common sense and logic can come into play when you're discussing facts, but that's as far as it was allowed to go. And if you started speculating or if you said things that didn't have any evidence backing them up, Zav Girl and all of your alleged death threats, you weren't allowed to discuss it, and you'd be either timed out or whatever the equivalent was back then, or you'd be kicked out. Trish did not hold back, or neither did her moderators on that website. And I'm a stickler for the facts. I have to be because I'm a fucking lawyer. I can't go into court and give a defence Zav Girl style and just make up salacious shit for the hell of it. I'm insanely pedantic about sticking to the facts. But I love that there are people that are not connected to the OG true crimers on YouTube, the legitimate ones, the fake ones, the crimers, the dramas, the bloody how to pickle vegetables community. All of them are all on high alert now because people like Penguin have spoken out. And I'm fired up. We've got backing. Finally. So many credible YouTubers have weighed in on this. And it was really lovely to see across the board everyone agreeing it was fucked up, except for Life Perplexed, Bullhorn Betty, Natasha Cooper, and Zav Girl. Oh, and I mean, obviously some of Zav's little idiotic supporters, like the one who told me to leave her alone. Leave Brittany alone. You sound jealous. Oh my God. I am not jealous of a gamer chair. As if they would be jealous of someone who's getting absolutely reamed on YouTube at the moment, and rightly so, for not just how she handled Gannon's story, but many before that. There's many people that have seen her repugnant behaviour for years now, and it's like, it's exciting that it's finally being discussed. And people are talking about her history on here. You know, and if I see one more person saying, people make mistakes. Yeah, they do. What she did, she made a gross error of judgment. She has completely re-victimized a family. She's completely disregarded Gannon. All she's done is use him for her own monetary gain. She's bullshitted to her supporters too. There was nothing sincere in that apology. But yeah, wait a minute. I've got another 5 minutes. Tell me, please, because I did ask for it. I'm still waiting. Where's evidence of her retracting? Yeah, that's Penguin. Correct. It's true crime after all. Oh, Critical K is back again. Yeah, I told you they're just like herpes. You need a drink? You don't have to, Humanimal. I'll take one for the team. I don't see it as promoting them. At all. I see it as exposing them. I'm happy to take one for the team. But I'm going to look into doing the dishes with Dave for sure. Because I already knew he was a piece of shit. But to read that he wore Chris Watts' top to Shanann, CC, Bella, and Nico's grave and slammed the root chats? Whoa. I don't give a fuck that you're in Australia, mate. I'm talking about you because you suck. Oh, who's that scout? Who's trying to give Gav the benefit of the doubt? They obviously don't know Gav's history. She's getting reamed all the way to India. I know the Hindustan Times, right? They were quick to report on it. Oh, a company called Short Fuse. It was nasty. Nasty stout. Me too, cement shoes. I mean, you know you've fucked up when they're talking about you in India, right? Emily, hello. Hello, beautiful girl. That yelling guy. Oh, Nerd Report. I can't watch him. I might have to, though. He said she unpinned the comment with the link to the apology and she did it. Oh, yeah. No, I saw him. I mean, I had to turn him off because he is shouty. No, the point he was making, which wasn't a bad point, he decided her unpinning comments supporting her was equivalent to a retraction, which is a bit different to what I thought you guys were saying, which was she's actually retracted it. He believed in her unpinning that comment equated to a retraction. Because, yeah, she's been pinning and responding to all of the supportive comments, although lucky me, I copped snark from her, and it didn't help her case at all. I listened to that Dishes with Dave man. He said in his life, Gannon was molested. He thinks it's unfair he gets harassed for what's case when Gav does that. Oh, boo-hoo, Dave. I mean, I haven't wanted to talk about doing the Dishes with Dave because I do get, like, really bad juju from him. I'm not sure I want to attract his attention, but I'm also horrified. Yeah, I can't do the shouters. And Nerd Report gets very shouty. But no, so it wasn't an official, like, it's not an official retraction by Zav, which is what I thought you were suggesting had happened. I was like, really? Wow. No, he just decided, and that's, he felt that her unpinning that comment essentially equated to her retracting her apology. He said she posted photos of a molested 11-year-old. I was like, what? Look, I hate to say it, but we really don't know the full extent of what Gannon was put through even prior to his brutal murder. I mean, I'm not necessarily agreeing with what Dave says, but I mean, Dave is 100% sensationalist and a waste of energy and breath. I mean, the guy's still crapping on about the Watts case 5 years on. Most of us looked at and discussed the guilty plea and went, well, that one's done and dusted. Next. I mean, there was a bit of excitement with that whole bloody Cheryl and Cadle plagiarised book and stuff, but for most of us, that was it, done deal. For doing the Dishes with Dave, bring it. Do you know his work, Scout? Look, I'm more than happy to always have beautiful people up on panel with me. I'm always happy to have ugly people up on panel with me too. I'm happy to have anyone. The more the merrier. Going back to work. We love you, Emily. Thanks for dropping in, Groover. Someone called Moments in Trading said me saying she should be removed from YouTube was a complete overreaction. Well, I mean, I think YouTube has completely underreacted to this. Frustrating it's not fact, but he's saying it is fact. Yeah, that's disgusting. They have been through enough. But these people don't give a flying fuck, which is why we're going to continue calling them out. Scout's been up on my panel. We'll get her back up for sure. I look at you two in your little girl romance thing. Oh, you've caught up. Hi, Orchid. I'm about to end it. You have arrived just in time for me to end it. You did break your YouTube virginity with us. You did. Emily's been on my panel. So is Scout, Jen Lu, and hopefully many more. I know his past work. I can watch a few of his latest live streams and get the dirt on that jackass. Okay. Yeah, he's always sort of given me a bad vibe, and I'm the instinct, like the fight or flight instinct with him is always flight. But I've got a little fire in my belly about him now. So look out, doing the dishes with Dave. Your time is coming. We've just got to hold these people accountable. We've got to clean up the community, you know. And when I say clean up, yeah, creepy definitely comes to mind. When I say clean up, I'm not going down the cancel culture road. Like I said yesterday, I believe that actions have ramifications, and that will play itself out, whatever's going to happen in that respect. But cleaning up means making people think about what the fuck they're doing, and if they're a decent person, they will change their ways. And I'm all for that. It doesn't necessarily mean I'll ever subscribe to them or give them support or whatever, but that's how we grow and evolve as human beings in our real lives, and the same should be happening on YouTube. But if they continue to be repugnant fuckfaces, they're going to get hit with all sorts of ramifications, and we all saw it coming. Yep, we'll be holding them accountable for sure. And we've got the backing of a very broad, much bigger community than this pissy little fake true crime community, who are also saying this is not okay. Like, most of us love everything we get to do on here, hanging out together, the people that we meet, you name it. We've got to protect it. If this shit was happening in our real lives, if we had friends that were doing shit like Gav, we'd be speaking up about it. We'd be unfriending them. You are so welcome to join me, Scout, and I'll let you know. I'll message you when I'm going to do it. It's probably going to take me a day or two just to get on top of all of his fuckery. But I will message you so that we can make sure it happens at a time that you're able to join me. And we will talk about doing the dishes with Dave, because he does get off scot-free. His name has popped up in my comments and my chat a lot. And I think it's, it's his time. I will still do a reaction to Laura for entertainment purposes, because I promised Emily I would, but I'm waiting for the doozy. So if Laura does or says anything that you're like, that's a perfect one for Tori to react to, let me know. I think as far as Zav goes, there's no point. Everyone agrees Laura's just made herself look like an idiot in that one. If you're going to support Gav, then at least look beyond the Hive and what they're doing, because you're ignoring all of these other reputable, well-established, big YouTubers who have an issue with it as well. You're just going to pick on the Hive, you look like a dickhead. Yeah, we'll be talking about the pilgrimage and the pilgrimage to Shanann and the girls' gravesite. Disgusting. Wearing one of Chris's tops and slamming Shanann's family. Oh my God, is there anything more gross? But until next time, guys, I have to go. I'm going to go and, I don't know, help some people with legal issues. And, Emily can certainly bring a glitter candle on the panel too. Stay groovy, everyone, and remember, don't get struck by a smooth criminal. Take care.